Witajcie moi mili, witajcie w kolejnym odcinku What Remains of Edith Finch. Odcinek zamieszczam 24 godziny po tym, jak zamieściłem część drugą. Dla mnie nie minęło nawet 15 sekund. Nawet nie mam ochoty iść zapalić, nawet nie mam ochoty. Naprawdę wciągająca jest ta gra, jest dobra, muszę przyznać, jest dobrze zrobiona. I tak jak miałem produkcji niezależnych jako tako nie oceniać, co postanowiłem, to nie da się, jest za dobra.
If she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Jesteś w ciąży? Czyli stąd ten brzuszek, którego teraz nie ma. Tym bardziej powinna być była z chłopakiem przyjechać. Chyba że wpadka, no to musisz ostrożniej partnerów na przyszłość dobierać, tak żeby ci nie zostawili na lodzie. A, tam są schody. Chciałem zejść tutaj, co prawda, bo tam widzę jakaś budka stoi. Strażnicza. Da się tu wejść? Nie da się. No ma brzuszek.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Ognisko na tarasie, to tak trochę niebezpiecznie. No, chwytaj to.
They were both pretty intense.
Tak, właśnie widzę.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Chociaż nie lubię za bardzo strzelania do zwierząt. Chyba, że jest się bardzo, bardzo głodnym. W ogóle nie... Czy my ten pokój w ogóle widzieliśmy z tego korytarza? Mam wrażenie, że już zwiedzamy więcej pokoju niż było. Co jeszcze jak się wyprowadzili i uciekli, to strzelbę też jeszcze zostawili? To tak trochę nieodpowiedzialnie ci powiem. Chociaż amunicja wydaje się pusta. Wyładowana może.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
US Marines. Prawdziwy amerykański twardziel. Jeszcze Nord to. Bał się być przed kamerą i robił sobie samojebki przed lustrem?
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? What? Am I gonna have to...
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it?
O, coś jedzie. A, to chyba za mną coś przejechało. To jak ta droga wiedzie, szczerze powiedziawszy?
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
O!
You're right, Dad.
Aw.
It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
No
Hold
też...
still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely won't be moving.
Are you done yet?
Does it sound like I'm done? Nothing quite like being outside. Hey!
Też mam tak po kawie.
That's a keeper.
Nie musieliście
A
tego
little
wiedzieć,
more
ale...
gas in the tank, I guess. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
Ale musicie przetrwać? To znaczy musi
Last time I was
przetrwać?
with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip.
Ale to co, uczysz się sztuki
Your
przetrwania?
grandpa Sven taught us how to fish.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Jelonek!
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Zanim strzelisz, ale zdjęcie?
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target.
No, to się nazywa twarde wychowanie.
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Fatalne zdjęcie. O, tu już za bardzo nie mogę aparatu. Więc...
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Samowyzwalacz. Biegnę! Nie wiem, chyba źle, tak? Nie, muszę biec. Kurde. O,
Sorry, Dawn, just gotta reset the timer.
Boże, jak tu ciężko się wbiega.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so-
normal, Dawn.
Nie.
Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Ach.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
A więc sam był zabity przez jelenia. Myślałem się, że jego córka dlatego nie zabrała flinty, już nigdy pewnie nie chciała jej dotknąć. A gdzie teraz? O, tu się coś świeci. Co to jest? To jest jak klima czy coś, tylko czemu jest podłączony do ściany, po której nic tu nie ma? Dobra, nieważne. Idziemy dalej. Chcę poznać historię. Dużo osób nam się zostało. Edie, Gregory, Gus, Dawn, Milton i Levi.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Ktoś puka w okno? To tylko strych. Tego pokoju też nie pamiętam, żebym widział go przez szybko. Jezus, ale dziecko. To akurat fatalne. Gus. Dawn. I Gregory. Gregory. Kontrakt rozwodowy.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
O!
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Okej, ale nie za bardzo widzę, co mogę zrobić.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello?
Nie powinno się rocznego dziecka zostawiać tak
Sam, I told you I don't
w
want to talk
łazience.
right now.
Żaba się rusza.
I wonder what he
A ja
saw.
tą żabą steruję. O!
What his world was like. He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in
Mega.
his imagination.
Po prostu mega.
Whatever it was he saw.
A, to teraz muszę wieloryba wyzwolić.
It sure made him happy.
Za dużo was tu. O Jezus. Za dużo was tu. Tam jeszcze coś widzę. Tam trzeba skoczyć pewnie.
I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him
Te
slipping
bąbelki
away.
się robią.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Chodzić nie mogę, mogę tylko skakać. O, już wiem chyba co muszę zrobić.
I wish he could have told us.
O jest, topi się.
Hey, there's so much I don't understand. About Gregory. About everything.
Jesteśmy żabką ludzką. O, ale przynajmniej szybko mogę pływać. Znaczy...
But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
A to nie było już wyciągnięte, jakby nie patrzeć?
I'm sure he's happy.
Duplo!
And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Nic nie powiesz? Zawsze coś mówiłaś. Czy powiedziawszy też bym nie wiedział co powiedzieć. Praca zespołowa, szacunek, siła. Jeszcze tam na górze coś jest. Co ponura atmosfera. Ten dom akurat, raczej ten pokój jest taki bardzo nieprzyjemny. Kto to w ogóle zbudował? Ścianka wspinaczkowa, żeby w ogóle wejść na górę jeszcze w pokoju dziecinnym. A jak gdyby któryś się...
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
Wiesz, dla Gasa.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Okej, nie. Muszę to opanować, jak to się w ogóle steruje tym latawcem. W dół leci w bok, w lewo i w prawo. Jezus. Nie wiem, co mam robić. A, to może tak mam? Ach. Dobra. To będzie męczące. Chyba się nie da inaczej, chyba muszę lecieć w prawo. No i co, i doleciałem do ściany, tak? Niewidzialnej. O. Teoretycznie naciskając lewą, jako tako leci w lewo, ale przenikam przez ściany, drzewa. No i tu spadam. Coś bezapelacyjnie robię nie tak. O, ale to będzie męczące. Nawet nie wiem, czy mam, w którą stronę mam lecieć. Aaa. Nie. O Jezus. Nie, tragicznie. To akurat jest chyba najgorsze, co póki co widziałem w całej grze. To latanie, te latawce to jest zbyt okrutne.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Ja też gotuje mi się gniew w żołądku. Tylko że od latania właśnie tym latawcem. O, nie wiem, nie umiem. A, dobra, zamiast... Nieważne, nie przyznam się wam. Co żem zrobił. Oprócz tego, że naciskałem złego przycisku na klawiaturze.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I remember.
Now to husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
No ale gdzie go podniósł? Do totemu podniósł ten środkowy palec? Co za rebeliant. Totem musiał być obrażony na
Wind
niego przez
picked up
resztę życia.
and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Aha.
The rain came down
Sharknado.
in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent like that
Czernado.
crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Aha, i piorun nas przywali. Dobra, nie widzę, co mam teraz zrobić. Że nie wiem, jak najwięcej mam tych nawi zebrać? Chyba tak. To się nie będę wahał.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Czyli pewnie piorun w niego przywalił.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Dobra, chodźmy z tego przykrego pokoju. Nie wracajmy tu więcej. Las Slendermana. Szczerze powiedziawszy, patrząc na ten pierwszy las, co widzieliśmy, taki ładny, to tutaj te takie trójkątne gałęzie, to...
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Biblia Święta.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
No, nie dziwię się. Religia ma tendencję do pomagania w takich kwestiach, ale nie wiem, ja tam się nie znam.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
A, mówiłem, że z Indii? Ci goście na pewno nie są z Kolkaty. Trochę za ciemni na to.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
A, dobra, to jest po prostu ten garaż, co tam był. Myślałem, że to coś ciekawszego będzie. Tam jeszcze jakieś coś w las będziemy szli.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again.
Czy co, Edith tu sama mieszkała? Po tym
The
wszystkim?
house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Teraz jestem w tym szalonym pokoju.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
Dobra, co teraz mieliśmy? Mieliśmy 2 przygody naraz, no to też sobie zrobię chwilkę przerwy. Dobra, kto się został? Levi, Milton i sama Edie. To potencjalnie 3 osoby. No nie wiem, czy zrobimy je wszystkie naraz. Mieli szkołę w domu, to miło. Mniej miło, że dzieciaki, żeby wejść do tej szkoły, musiały przechodzić przez ściankę i miliony korytarzy.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
O Jezu, myślałem, że ktoś tam stoi. Dobra, tu nic nie ma. Więc co to pokój szalonego malarza Miltona? Twojego zaginionego brata, który może żyje, może nie. Na 10-latka muszę przyznać, że miał talent.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
A, dobra. Teraz muszę puścić, tak, nie? Jak to się robi? No miał ogromny talent wręcz. Aciu! Zaczarowany ołówek, wersja amerykańska. Czy tam pomysłowy Dobromir, czy... A, to było dość krótkie, szczerze powiedziawszy.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Zjadł go kraken.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Bestia w zamku na górze. O, coś nie mogę iść, a już mogę.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
To jest łódź. Zastanawiam się, jak oni to w ogóle zbudowali.
After he graduated, he
Bez
just
ciężkiego
spent more and
sprzętu.
more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Levi.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Marihuana. Tam jeszcze coś jest? Tam jeszcze jest kawał drogi. Otwierałeś wszystkie okna. Tak po prostu sobie wyjdziesz bez zamykania ich.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. that part of him lived on.
Pokój Louis, nie Levi, tylko Louis. Pachniał znajomo. San Juan Ale. Przez chwilę myślałem, że to PlayStation.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Tyle sprzętu żeście w tym domu zostawili. Jakby, jak to możliwe, że to tyle lat przetrwało w stanie praktycznie nienaruszonym?
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
Co to jest? Mogę to chwycić? Co bardzo nie mogę tego chwycić.
wander.
A, bo tu...
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Królewicz Louis.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
Sobie utnie pewnie łapę.
So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Psa! Najlepszy przyjaciel człowieka.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. he held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
O, już prawie...
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
Zajmuje spory kawałek, czy na pewno tutaj łapę
New
utniemy?
Louisville. St. Louis.
St. Louis.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he
Minneapolis.
forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
Na pewno nie o
handsome queen.
pięknym księciu. To zostawię dla innych.
The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents.
Wszystko zaczyna się w indyjskich literach robić.
He followed the sound of her
Srebrnej harfy.
silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
O, powróciliśmy do świata żywych.
He began to forget the world we know.
Tu też stoi? Tak.
I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker.
A więc tak wyglądały kiedyś zakłady zajmujące się
He began
pakowaniem
to despise the man with a royal
mięsa.
contempt.
do puszek.
I still thought I could save him.
Żegnaj, Louis.
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
I gigantyczny kot o imieniu Molly.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
O, myślałem, że rękę straci, niekoniecznie głowę.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch. On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Dobra, tam schodzę tylko na dół.
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Stawiliście Edie samą. Nieładnie.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Tu jest jadalnia. Tu jest mega
the power had
ciemno.
been shut off that morning. but Edie always had plenty of candles.
Gdzie oni kazali mi
When
iść
my
w
mom
zasadzie?
said the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance.
Inne wejście?
Or that Edie had a key to it.
Wow, to byli tylko trochę większe niż myślałem. Z tamtego korytarza wydawała się trochę... Co tam jest? Trochę taka półokrągła, malutka.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories! I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Spoko, dam radę. Zasadniczo muszę iść tylko prosto, tak?
I got turned around.
Co? Jak mogłeś błądzić? Szłeś prosto. Ja szedłem prosto. Ja nie błądzę.
For a while, I wondered. I started seeing things.
Jeleń. Idziemy za jeleniem?
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me.
Czyżbyśmy dotarli do starego domu?
Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine!
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
O. I nigdy nie zwiedziliśmy statku. To była dobra historia, muszę przyznać. O, to była miła historia. Szczerze powiedziawszy, miałem nie oceniać gier niezależnych, ale powiem wam, że ta gra naprawdę jest bardzo dobra. Chociaż spodziewałem się trochę więcej. O, Martynowicz, polskie nazwisko, jak to miło. Ale już widzę, że nic nie będzie, bo mi nawet achievement na Steamie wyskoczył. To teraz tylko przejść przez artystów. Miałem, tak jak powiedziałem, miałem nie oceniać, ale naprawdę gra jest genialna. Szkoda, tylko mogłaby być trochę bardziej rozbudowana, jakieś dodatkowe elementy, ale no... Polecam, to jest coś, co samemu się powinno zagrać. Chociaż teraz, jeżeli ktoś to obejrzał w całości, to raczej nie zagra, bo po co? Możliwe, że jeszcze sobie poszukam jakiejś podobnej gry. Chyba nawet mam jakąś już podobną. Quern czy coś tam deseń. No dobra, w każdym razie... See you!